Hi, everybody, and welcome to a live Tucker Carlson Tonight. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I will be filling in for Tucker this evening. You got it. Meanwhile, the U.S. Senate can't agree on much, but it does agree on this. The Pentagon should tell Americans what it knows about UFOs. What could we learn from that disclosure? That's next. Our live special continues. UFOs unmasked next. Don't tell me you're going to switch off. You're not. Welcome back to tonight's special. How much does the U.S. government actually know about UFO sightings? We may finally be able to find out. I'm not kidding. This week, the Senate Intelligence Committee voted to require the Pentagon to produce a UFO report as part of the latest defense authorization bill. Luis Elizondo is a former military intelligence official and currently works with the Stars Academy and the History Channel, and he joins us now. Luis, if the Senate gets what they want, what will they get?
Well, thanks, Brian, for having me. I think this is a historical moment in our country for many reasons. I think it's fair to say this is certainly a nonpartisan issue. You have, thanks to the courage of Senator Marco Rubio, but others before him, such as Harry Reid and Stevens and Inouye. I think if the Senate is successful in getting what they want, they're going to get actual hard data as to the capabilities of these incursions into our airspace and the airspace of where we have combat vehicles and controlled, if you will. Think of a combat theater where we have aircraft operating. Hopefully we can get a better understanding of what's going on here. These things seem to appear and operate without impunity, both here in the United States and overseas, where our brave men and women are in uniform. And hopefully we'll be able to finally piece together.
Luis, how do you know?
Well, because I was part of a program for about 10 years back in the Pentagon called ATIP. I ran that program with several colleagues of mine, and it was an interagency organization very much like this task force that you are seeing right now that's being proposed in this bill.
What's the most intriguing thing that we'll get from it if the Senate Intelligence Committee gets what you know?
Well, I think you're going to get hopefully you're going to get an unclassified report. And for the first time, average Americans are going to get a chance to see the very same data that has been locked away in if you will, in classified briefings and whatnot, and hopefully see the light of day for once.
Now, I consider myself an average American. Can you tell me what it says since you were part of the unit?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not employed by the U.S. government anymore, and I am still bound by my non-disclosure agreements, my NDAs. I still have a security clearance. So that's really a conversation that the U.S. government's going to have, the executive branch with the legislative branch, and then finally decide what they think is appropriate for the American people. But I think what I can say is that data is very compelling. And when you look at these vehicles and what they're able to do, you very quickly realize that this is probably not something in our own inventory.
Luis Elizondo, thanks so much. Can't wait for it. We'll have you back.
Yes, sir,
at least
thank
I'll
you.
ask Tucker to have you back. Thank you.
Yes, sir,
Meanwhile,
thank you.
that's it for our show tonight.